Alright, so today's topic, the lottery, and probably going broke again.
No doubt you've all had the conversation with your friends about what you do if you won the lottery, or how much you'd give away to family and friends. How many problems might that cause? Or would you just spend and live a life of selfish luxury? According to CNN Money, the biggest lottery win ever was $1.586 billion, but it was divided between 3 people. A year later, in 2017, one woman scooped $758.7 million, and she decided to take the lump sum of $480.5 million. If you don't know, you can take your win divided over a number of years or all at once.
That's smart. That is smart. That was smart choice. That was a smart choice on her behalf.
You love to see it. You hate to see it. You love to see it. You hate to see it. You actually hate to see it. You love to see it. Yeah.
I mean, think about it, bro. If you win the lottery, or just giving yourself the ability to like get it in installments, and on top of that, right? Now your parents or your friends, quote unquote, or acquaintances can't ask you, oh, yo, I need this, I need that. Oh, but like, yo, they're only giving me 10,000 this month. Okay, I have my own expenses, I have my own shit to deal with. I can't be just giving you money just like that, you know. I don't have the $4 million or whatever it is up front, right? That was smart. That was very smart. That was very, very, very smart. So the question is it better to get $5 million up front, or $5 million spaced out over the course of 3 years even, you know? I think the latter is the better choice.
It's great, but tell us what you think about that after this episode of the Infographics Show, when winning the lottery was a horrible curse. You may have already seen the documentaries in which lottery winners find themselves surrounded by cunning relatives and friends suddenly emerging from the past, all wanting a piece of the pie. You'll know how it can tear families apart, which often sounds like a tale of biblical greed. These are sad stories for sure. The last one might even bring a tear to your eye. 10. Return of the Killer Lover. Aged 42, Doris Murray might have thought she was the luckiest woman alive when she picked up $5 million after winning the Georgia lottery in 2007. It said her plan was to start a trust fund for her grandchildren, but Murray only got to live with her winnings 1 year as her ex-boyfriend came back on the scene begging. She wasn't interested in getting back with him or sharing cash with him, and so he stabbed her to death. He was arrested soon after, a lose-lose situation which we see is often the case with lottery greed. 9.
Trifling. Oh hell no! This is why you don't want to be posting all your shit on social media, right? Oh, I bought a new car, or I bought a new house, or I bought a new condo. Like, okay, now what is that doing for me? People always say, oh, this is inspiration, you can do the same, whatever it is. Like, not everybody needs to know your business, right? You know, like, I'd rather be wealthy and not famous than famous and wealthy. And the worst case is to be famous and not wealthy. Think about that. Let me repeat what I just said. I'd rather be wealthy and not famous, as opposed to being famous and wealthy. But the worst case is to be famous and not wealthy. Because once you are famous, you probably made money initially, but like, people fall off all the time, right? Actors, rappers, singers, NBA athletes, people fall off. You have one good season, one good movie, and then you can't replicate the success, right? So like, once you make a certain amount of money, your lifestyle increases. Parkinson's law, right? Our expenditures typically rise to meet our income, and then it's hard for you to like go back to spending less or few.
A murderer in the family. A guy called Jeffrey Dampier had a similar fate, except this time it was family with blood on their hands. 39-year-old Dampier was over the moon when he won $20 million in 1996, and it's reported that he wasn't stingy either, treating family and friends with his cash. His sister-in-law and her boyfriend got the idea to take Dampier's winnings, and together they kidnapped him and then shot him in the head. The pair were soon arrested. Dampier's widow was later asked what winning the lottery had done for her husband. "I think it's a curse," she replied. 8. Don't trust anyone. In 2009, a man with a great name, Abraham Shakespeare, won $30 million in the Florida lottery when he was 42 years old. The former laborer didn't spend big at first, buying just a Nissan Altima and a Rolex watch. According to reports, he was
So a Nissan Altima and a Rolex watch. Obviously, one of the best things you can do once you get say you get a promotion or you increase your certain lifestyle or you make more money for that matter, right? Always, what are you buying that is an asset rather than a liability? If by purchasing this thing, is this thing gonna make me more money? Okay, I'm gonna buy a house. Ultimately, I can either live in it while it appreciates in value, or I can have people renting it either through Airbnb or a full-on long-term lease, right? All of your purchases, right? Car, you know, for the most part, you are losing money, right? So the best periods, just in general, but the best periods to own a car is between the 2nd or the 3rd year of its release and 8th year, right? If a car was made in 2010, the best time to use it is between 2012, when it's lost most of its depreciation, and 2018, because once it gets past 8 years old of the car, that's when you start having more of the maintenance issues, and it costs a lot to fix it or to maintain it, right? So that's just something to think about.
By people who wanted some of his cash. He once told his brother, "I'd have been better off broke. I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is just money." And it got worse. He went missing and was later found buried under someone's backyard. The killer was a woman he befriended who had told him she'd help him with his too much money problems. Her name was Doris Murray, and she's currently serving a long prison sentence for first-degree murder. 7. Drinking to the grave. It's happened numerous times when winners have been murdered for their money. All the reports of this happening were in the USA, but self-destruction, well, that's universal. Take the case of Brit Keith Gow, who won £9 million, about $12 million at today's rates, in 2005. Gow got straight down to the business of spending, betting big on soccer, horse racing, and apparently drinking himself to oblivion. He wasn't the brightest of lucky people and got scammed out close to $1 million after giving it to some shady guy to invest. He not only ended up selling everything he'd bought, including racehorses, a top-of-the-line BMW, his executive box at Aston Villa Football Club, and a large country villa, but he got into money troubles. He died of a heart attack, and financial problems and booze were to blame. His friends said the lottery virtually killed him. Winning the money was the worst thing that happened to him. "It's very sad," he told one friend. 6. Taking your own life. Then there's the story of Billy Bob Harrell, who won $31 million in the Texan lottery in 1997. He was followed around like many others by people with their hands out looking for some of his winnings. He didn't hide the fact that he was rich, though. It got so much for the poor guy that he moved and changed his phone number. He also made some terrible financial decisions, and things got worse when he got divorced. It seems it all got too much, and 2 years after he won, still with money in the bank, he put a gun to his own head. Prior to taking his own life, he said, "Winning the lottery is the worst thing that ever happened to me." 5. Losing everything you need. Another case was the curse of Jack Whitaker, a West Virginian who won a staggering $315 million in 2002. He wasn't too careful with his cash.
See what happens when you get too much money too quickly? This is why I don't blame athletes, bro. Like, most athletes are like 18, 19, 20 even, right? Early 20s, getting like $5 million, $4 million, right? Up front. Especially like the top tier. It makes sense, bro. Like, it makes sense for the most part, right? And on top of that, remember, always the taxes too. He won, like, let's say 200 million. Half of that is going directly towards taxes, like, at least 40% of that, right? Because you have no business expense. The only business expense was the lottery ticket cost, which is maybe what, $10, $15 at the most, right? So like, I'd rather be wealthy and not famous, right? Like on this channel, for the most part, yo, give me like 100K subscribers and 10,000 per month. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like, I don't need all that extra shit. That's why on Instagram, I don't even be posting on Instagram. What am I gonna post on Instagram? I'm not a woman. I don't get that extra love. You know what I'm saying? Like, Instagram is like an art gallery. This is me at my best. But on YouTube, you see me. You know, I'm not looking extra paying right now, right? I still need another haircut pretty soon, in like a couple weeks. But like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Having almost $500,000 stolen from his car where he kept a money-loaded suitcase. He later had another $200,000 stolen in a similar way. Then, he was hit by grief after losing his granddaughter to a drug overdose. And then her mother, his daughter, died 2 years later from a drug overdose. They'd both been spending his fortune for him. "My granddaughter is dead because of the money. She was the shining star of my life, and she was what it was all about for me," he told.
That's that shit, bro. Another thing is like substance abuse, right? Like I always say, it's like alcohol and marijuana to a lesser extent. It's also going to negatively affect your life. But alcohol definitely kills you, whether it be through the alcohol poisoning or even DUI, driving recklessly. Arguably, one of the top tier ways for you to curb an addiction to marijuana, coffee, or even alcohol is implementing morning exercise into your life. So every morning, 5 to 10 minutes of exercise will go a long way in curbing your cravings and in replacing the activity that you initially had to that substance.
Get this, by working out, by exercising, by having mild stress on the body, we are training the brain to become more resilient, which is exactly why we feel so good. Stress literally doesn't affect us as much because the BDNF has put this protective layer around the brain cells so they don't get affected as badly. It's truly remarkable, and it actually has effects that stick. So even when you're working out and you feel amazing and then you kind of come down from that workout high, you're still at a baseline that's higher than you were before. Each and every time you work out and you increase that BDNF, you are increasing your brain cells' resilience. So that little bit of stress that you put yourself through is doing amazing things in terms of getting you high, so to speak.
Either you're a waker and baker, or you just woke up and you're drinking in the morning, like, right? So like, exercise gives you that dopamine spike that you're no longer getting in the form of the other substances. So right, 5 to 10 minutes of HIIT workout or even a yoga session, like power yoga, will go a long way in reducing those cravings and replacing the activity, which is also just equally as important.
The press. Incredibly, years later, he said he had nothing left and was a daughter and a granddaughter down. I wish that we tore the ticket up, he said in an interview. 4. Too much, too young. Over in Scotland, a wee lad of 17 called Stuart Donnelly won the lottery in 1997. Not a good year for lottery winners, it seems, and talked about the pressure of being rich. He once told the newspaper that he was scared to leave the house. It was very hard to deal with all the attention I got. I even had people camping outside my house. It put a huge strain on me and my family. He was found dead in his luxury home when he was 29. It's thought he died of natural causes, but the press speculates the lottery win played a part in his demise. 3. Back to the trailer park. Here's another story of rags to riches and back to rags. Evelyn Basehor won $3.9 million back in 1985, but she had a taste for gambling. In 2000, she was back in a trailer park, saying she'd gambled all her money away. I won the American dream, but I lost it too. It was a very hard fall. It's called rock bottom, she said. 2. Thug life. Back in the UK, there's a man by the name Michael Carroll, called a lottery lout by the press, which kind of means lottery thug. He even called himself King of Chavs. What is a chav? That's a long story, but we guess you could say a chav is a young hoodlum, but more of a white trash type of hoodlum. Anyway, this young delinquent won a massive £9.7 million in the UK lottery in 2002. At the time of his win, when he was just 19, he was working as a binman or trash collector and was still wearing an electronic tag so the cops could keep an eye on him. Winning didn't stop him from getting in trouble with the police. 10 years later, and all the money was gone on what he said was tons of drugs, lots of gambling, and thousands of prostitutes. We're not sure how he or his poor lungs and brain managed it, but he said he had a $2,300 a day crack cocaine habit. What did he have to say about his rise and fall? The party has ended, and it's back to reality. I haven't got 2 pennies to rub together, and that's the way I like it. I find it easier to live off 42 pounds dole than a million. Dole means unemployment benefits. He couldn't get away from crime or criminals either. As his money was running out, some blackmailers slit the throats of 5 of his dogs and basically ran him out of town. But not before he paid them over $150,000. 1. A mortal loss. But we'll leave you with the story of all stories, even though we're not sure you can call it a curse. In Thailand, the lottery is serious business for many. It's a way out of poverty for some who don't have many options in life. People make merit at temples and pray for the winning numbers. Superstitious folks get exploited by seers who sell the right numbers. People see winning numbers in dreams, or if someone has, say, a strange looking fruit growing in their garden, people will queue to pray to it and hope it gives them lottery luck. The numbers might even appear on the license plates of crashed vehicles. A ghost may even whisper the winning numbers in someone's ear. So yeah, it's serious alright. So serious that in 2018, a man called Jirawat Pongfan was absolutely delighted when he found out he had the winning numbers for the lottery and was about to collect $1.8 million. The 42-year-old threw a party and got really drunk, only to wake up and not be able to find his winning tickets. It's said he became very depressed after that and wasn't even able to work. He then shot himself in the head. His suicide note read, "I'm really sorry. Please don't bully my family. I did win the lottery prize." Apparently the tickets were never found and no one claimed the prize.
First of all, don't bother yourself with the lottery in the first place. It's like gambling, right? It's like gambling. You know, anytime you gamble or you play the lottery, you're putting the money aside as like, I'm okay losing this money. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the same thing should be like with a lot of investments, like dividend investing. For the most part, you're not always guaranteed. Like investments are low-key gambling in a way. I'm just saying, but they have more of a history of coming back, right? But there's no ROI really of a lottery ticket or gambling in a casino. the best place I would always say is to monetize your knowledge when it comes to like online business or online income in a sense. Monetize your knowledge. Okay, so how much do I make as a hairstylist? How much do I make as a computer science engineer? How much do I make as a plumber? How much do I make as a truck driver, or even a garbage man or a mailman? Literally a day in the life of a mailman. Vlog it. I mean, not vlog it, but like just talk about it on YouTube, bro. Like I always say, like, yo, the expense of a YouTube video is literally a tripod. I have a tripod, my iPhone, and I use a free editing app called iMovie. I'm not saying everybody should be a YouTuber. I'm not saying everybody should be a content creator. But like, this is another outlet for you to like use what you already are doing or what you already know about and start talking about it online where other people can relate with you and resonate with you and your story, right? Even talking about your own addiction, right? Like marijuana addiction. Your journey to quitting alcohol, your journey to quitting coffee, right? And then you go on an affiliate network like ClickBank, right? You get a link to one of the affiliate programs like Quit Marijuana, the complete guide, drink less in 7 days, alcohol guide, and then you just recommend it to people. You just leave the link in your YouTube video, and then, yo, if you guys want to quit alcohol too, there you go, right? So that's pretty much it. Like my thing was NoFap and watching adult content online, right? So that led me to having erectile dysfunction, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, and I couldn't really focus. I always thought of women as like sex objects essentially, and like I would always undress women with my eyes. So if you are doing something, more than likely somebody else out there is dealing with it too, and you can help them, right? So I understand, like all this other shit, gambling, and a lot of the other online businesses like drop shipping or Amazon FBA require a lot of upfront capital. Whereas with a YouTube video, the only capital you're using is your time and energy, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So have a look at that. Maybe if you want to know how to edit your YouTube videos, I have a video on how to do that right here. Watch that. Or if you want to know more about how to, maybe you're okay with your current job, you want to know how to better manage your money, watch my other personal finance video right here. God bless, much love, peace, and joy. Namaste. Always remember, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it, and too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How are you lot doing today? I'm doing more, saying less, and keeping that same energy. No cap. Flip the script. I'm out. Deuces.
What if I should? Always tell a lie, but what for? It was not yesterday.